Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know, my name is Rosemary Reed, and I've been covering a topic from the last video, sharing with you guys what's taking place in my household and what's taking place in my life with my teenage son that had to be let go from the household, basically. Long story short. But you know, since I put up that video, guys, I just wanted to come back because it was stopped a little bit abrupt, and I didn't even get to say bye to you guys out there. But yeah, I'll come back because I wanted to touch on some more stuff, and just been getting a little bit more clarity. You know, the prior video, all I could share was just to share the fact that I didn't understand what was happening. I just knew that it wasn't anything positive, that I can say 100% that I just knew whatever it was involved with and mixed up in wasn't positive at all. And like I said, I spoke to one person that I got a little bit of clarity, but I still couldn't really speak on it. But since I have put up this video, you wouldn't believe the amount of stuff that's popped up on my recommendation and the videos that showed up in regards to what was taking place with my family, and I didn't know the name and to put the words to it. I wasn't learned in that area, and yeah, so I just wanted to share a bit with you guys and just to let you know that it's not like I'm bashing my own child. It's just a difficulty and lack of experience in my part, and not knowing how to cope and not knowing how to get him out of it because he's not willing to be helped. You know, I just wanted to clear that bit up, and the struggles that it's put on my family with my other children, and just knowing that I've got a child that's not very active and doesn't want to do anything in his household or anything to better himself, and even to fight against what's happening to him, you know, and it couldn't happen to anybody, you know. Just wanted to clear that up, and I just wanted to highlight also that these things are happening in our families, happening with our children, and it's happening out there because, like I said, I've been getting so much videos recommended and so much clarities on what's been taking place, and when I've watched them and listened and kind of understood more clearly, I realized that this is what has taken place with my child, and probably many other children out there that thinking they want to take the easy route out, or people come and paint things or whatever they were listening to, you know, paint things to them as if when Adam and Eve was in the garden and the enemy came in the form of a snake and tell her to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and bad, you know, it's similar, you know, for those who out there can relate. This is what they're doing to our young people and people out there in general, painting them a great picture and leading them into a path that could hold on to them for life, just so that the enemy can win, you know. I get to understand after listening to one particular video. It's somebody that I watched over the years and know of in the YouTube space very well, and you know, I trust to watch her. So I did watch her, and it's funny enough, like I said, the videos popped up. I've never really heard. I know when she was younger, she was into a lot of books, and she's quite a liberated person that wanted to explore and to know more and to widen her knowledge. I respect her a lot in the YouTube space, and she went to another country and like changed over her life, and now she's in her 40s and she's got a daughter and a husband, etc. Anyone that knows out there in the YouTube space more or less should know of Shameless Maya. That's the first video I came across, and I was amazed, you know. And this video is not something that's made a long time ago. It's something that made recently. When I watched it, it was 9 days ago she had made it, and I think a lot of people trying to highlight others out there, to let them be aware of what could take place in their life, and what they could be dragged down into. And it was so refreshing to sit and listen and watch her, and to even get a little bit more clarity as to what was taking place with my particular child. So before I ramble on, I'll look into my notes and speak on the stuff. There was one particular word that I heard prior to watching Shameless Maya's video, and I knew that word, but when I was doing my video, the first video, I didn't remember what to call it, and because I didn't look it up and register it well in my brain, I didn't remember the word. But once I heard it again, I knew it. And that particular word is when I was saying that my young boy was talking about transferring of spirit and stuff like that. The word out there now for that in modern terms, because the enemy is using ways of getting to our young people, or to people in general, and it's modern time stuff that I've never heard of, stuff that I never knew, you know. Like I said, I buried my head down in the sand. I'm not old school, but I kind of a practical person. I am not well educated. I'm no idiot, and I'm as I'm getting older, I'm becoming wiser with God's help. Let me point out, all of this, me even being here to sit down and do this video in front of you guys out there today, is God's will, you know, and God has been working on me, even though it's hard in some sense, but through prayer and silence, to hear and to just read into my Bible, and to know that whatever is going on is not right and it's the enemy's work. You know, God has strengthened me, even though there's days when I've shared with you guys that I get down and weary, and sometimes I have to just sit still and be quiet and kind of ride out the storm, or else, I don't know, it's like a protection mechanism on my part. But you know, they have this wording. I always live by wording, some particular wording I draw from them and I take from them. You know, fools rush in. Sometimes I don't want to rush in and overwhelm myself and then slip into where I can't come back from, because I'm so down and depressed. So sometimes I need to take time out to regroup and regain strength. And there's a great word that I've learned throughout my life, and there's a song about it, about they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. These are the things I do, guys. And you know, even though I might be down at times, trust me, I am stronger than even when I was in my youth, even though at that time, stronger in body, yes, but stronger in spirit and stronger in mind, I am in present times, way more than, and I'm not afraid. You know, there's times when, in my younger times when I go through things and things was trying to be revealed to me, those times I didn't want to know. I shut down and I was afraid to go through it because I didn't understand it, and I just couldn't cope of those times. But now I can cope, and anything I've shared with you guys is to highlight, you know, is to highlight and let you know of my experience, or any experience that I can share. I will always be willing to share with you guys and let you know what's happening, you know, even though it's difficult to share because stigma and shame is placed on it and stuff. But you have to realize that's the enemy's work, to make us complacent, to make us silent, to de-weaponize us, you know, our voices, and to make us hide away and cover up stuff that's taking place. And that's just armoring them to be stronger, to take away our children, and to bring us all in negativity, instead of doing good and doing what God wants us to do on this earth. We getting dragged down, you know. But let me just jump into this and explain what I've learned. So the word I was looking for, which Shameless Maya shared on her channel and talk about, the word I was looking for at the time was astral projection. Astral projection is the things I think my child has studied. I can't speak of if somebody else introduced it to him or he come across it himself, because like I said, it's a child that he's always searching for probably more, and because of his life experience, he's a younger person in life. They tap into all different type of things, and yeah, so that was the word. And one of the reasons she shared her story with the YouTube space to highlight as well, because she came across it, and when she was on her journey in life and learning more about God, she shared about born into Catholic, and one day when she was a younger person, in her 18, she remembered that she didn't want to be Catholic anymore because there was some stuff that she didn't quite agree with, and that led her to start reading books and stuff like that, different books, and you know, whether you know, she struggled with reading the Bible, but she tried to read the Bible, and in the end, she read the Bible for a period of time and start understanding it, and took it as like of a challenge, because she said reading it just from wanting to reading it wasn't working out, so she kind of had to take it as a challenge and start reading the Bible and understanding more about God and what his plans for us are, and just the goodness, and you know, searching basically. And then she got to a point where somebody else trying to sell her a different story, probably led from the books that she was reading, and it sounded all great and lovely at first, but in regards to the whole astral projection and other stuff, other words that I'm not familiar with, and I didn't retain what the astral projection, because I knew that that was part of the stuff that my child was involved in. I took a note of that, and I'm here sharing, you know. So, you know, and she spoke on the fact that that's the way of taking people down a rabbit hole of darkness, and if, God forbid, some children or some people that's gone down that road doesn't get back out, and they end up staying in that road, you know. And so my child, I always have faith, and I just trust and hope in God that he shall find a way out. And if he is responsible for taking other people and that path, they can all find their way out of it, because I'm praying, you know, I'm praying not only for my child, but anybody that's been afflicted by this situation. Another thing I wanted to touch on before I share how she find her way out, and the things that she covered. I'm hoping I'm not going too fast. I remember I was talking about the animal stuff that I saw in my son book, the thing that is related to this astral projection lifestyle and journey that they want to take people down, is trying to make out that they have other options in life. In, you know, it's not just heaven and hell. It's you can reincarnate it and come back as an animal, or come back as different people, stuff like that. Those are the things I think it's led to. I did look up the definition. I don't know if I did write it down. I'll check in a minute. But all I know, when I looked up the definition, it was clear that what was happening and what I was seeing that was happening with my child is on the lines of that. And yeah, it was very clear to me. When I was reading that bit, I could feel like a pain in the left side of my head. I was nervous even reading the definition, and the Spirit was telling me, just read the definition, Rose, don't go any further. And I just read the definition in the, you know. So I'll say to you, anyone out there, don't go looking for what you did not put down. Because I only could read the definition because I felt de-weaponized, I felt lost, and I felt like I haven't got any knowledge on what was taking place with my child. And I was seeing loads of parents that have children, and I don't know what their actual what would you call it, problem was, but I see so much lost boys in my past. One particular one, you know, when I was young, that boy had this whole future in front of him. It was looking so bright, and then something happened that just took him into a whole nother space of depression. And you know, he was looking at that times like he was the one that's going to take his mom from being in a poor situation to a better situation, and then he just got struck down with whatever it was, but it just took him into a dark place and a negative place. And that zeal and that shine that something great was going to be in his life just turned. And I haven't really since I've grown up tapped back in to see what was happening with him. I promised myself if I go back to London anytime, I'll go and see if his mom is working in that same place in the market, and see if I could find out a way that I could get contact with them and see maybe if they wanted to share their story, you know, in the future. I don't know how long, guys, but anytime I come back on this topic, guys, I will make sure that I say clearly, and if I ever get to speak to the mom in the future, just to see what her experience was really, because all I remember as a younger person, you know, even though we were so friendly with the young lads, we couldn't help him, and we was like backed off probably by the mom. I didn't really go deep in. And I remember, Angela, I asked you to go upstairs, and I mean it. Go upstairs now and sit in the room, and I shouldn't be long, okay? Well done. You do that, son. Yeah. Yeah, to see maybe if I should get some information on that child, because that's a child that I know specifically that something took place, or a young man that I know specifically that something went left in his life to turn him away from that future that everybody was looking at him like, you know, your future is great, because he was such a talented young man. And I just pray and hope that God has pulled him out of whatever he is, and he can make his way through life, because somehow I think whatever that was, it does change your children, it changes your family. And I just pray to God that my own child can escape whatever he's into. But as I said, I'm speaking on it a bit more, and I've got more clarity, and what I came across look very much so like that, because I was referring to the words of darkness, which I was not wrong, but they have names for these things, and we shouldn't be afraid of it, because as a child of God, it's something that we're going to have to deal with, and not to say that we're going to go investigate down where we don't belong, but we're going to know that we're working against power and principality and things that the eyes cannot see, but they're happening. Anyway, let me just, so going back to Shameless Maya's story. So she shared, you know, from the Bible, then she ended up start reading other books, and then came across this astral projection thing and the rest of it, that I don't know how far into it she went, but she pointed out, if you're not careful, because they paint such a picture, and you go down that road, and if you don't know how to navigate it, you don't escape from it. But obviously she has escaped out that world, and she said she seek more from God and continually reading the Bible and understanding the Bible more, and God revealed to her that there's two paths in life. You know, anybody else can come and jump up that there's how many paths. There's two ways, and it's good and evil. It's either you're going to go to heaven or you're going to go to hell. Do you know what I mean? There's no other way, and any other way that people come and present you, because it's a cheating way, and it's a way to lead you to destruction anyway, if God don't pull you out of it, basically. And I also want to point out, in the last video I did, I remember I spoke on laziness and about my child, and that seemed so poignant when I heard Shameless Maya spoke on the lazy way, because the cheating way, sorry, because it just goes hand in hand with being lazy. You know, even if we're fearful and we don't know what life, and we don't know what's going to be our end, because I know there's a lot of people out there that doesn't know, you know, trust in God, because they say God created the heavens and the earth Why would you be going towards something else when it clearly says God created the heavens and the earth? And those who are out there that doubt, there's so many people that doubt, but yet let anything happen in their family or anything goes wrong, and if anyone pass away, they're putting up their balloons, even just that, up towards the sky. Do you know what I mean? And looking for something, because I found out there's so much people out there that's lost and struggling. But hold on to your Bible, you know, hold on to your Bible. Even if you just hold on to that alone, don't go tapping into anything. You know, people are very knowledgeable. Even my 5-year-old child, sometimes when he speaks, because he getting the teaching at school, the things he knows is not what I know. But as an older person, obviously, I'm here to look after him and navigate him through life. And I'm more wiser because I've got life experience and world experience. And these are the things I was trying to tell my child. Yeah, you might be clever and bright, and there might be so much stuff out there that you might be more eloquent in or knowledgeable in. But I am telling you, as your mother, there's only two ways, good and evil. Choose good, because if you're not fighting for good, you're fighting for evil. And it's as simple as that in layman's term. So be wise, and no matter how wise you think you are, be willing to listen, because that is one of the main nemesis of people. They harden their ears and they close their eyes. They're not hearing, they're not seeing, and they find themselves into so much negativity, the wilderness of darkness, and all of this, etc., etc., and all these new words, and all these new forms of way of enticing, because the enemy is not going to come and say, oh yeah, I'm the enemy. They're going to dress up themselves in all different ways, shapes and form to take our children away and to bring them into negativity and to bring them into darkness. And even, you know, myself, before I come to do this video, my dream through the morning, it wasn't the best, but you know, it just came to me, Rose, get up and go have a shower and pray and ask for forgiveness, and pray for your children, and go and do your video, because you got your video to do. So sometimes it'll creep in from all different ways and all different angle to make you feel down and depressed and just sit still and not do anything and not speak out. And you have to find ways of fighting against that and read your Bible and see where you can get help from. Because and I want to tell you guys out there, from my testimony, God sent help. God sent help in so many different forms and ways, you'd be surprised. And sometimes when you don't know what's happening around you, your help is even around you and you don't even know. Because when I first heard that word, astral projection, is somebody junior my size, could tell me on that topic. And even when I met that person, I knew there was something good about that person. And it was just in passing. And that person ended up coming to be in my house and was able to have shed a bit of light in that area. Because I have no clue. When you get older, you have children, you don't know what's going on out there. Like I've shared with you guys, sometimes there's so much stuff going on behind the scenes and you have no idea. So I'll just say, wake up guys, open your eyes. And Shameless Maya also shared that she came through that path in life, and sometimes you think your experiences is there to destroy you. Let me also point out that it's not. It's only if you let it. What it experience so you can come and share. It's experience so you can come and tell people. It's an experience that you could go and reach back and see who needs help and wants help and can be helped. So don't be fooled and think all your experiences is that you have and think and place them into a negative pile, because there's reason behind everything. Everything I've shared with my journey with my son, there's meaning behind it and there's reason, because that's what's led me now to can be strong and come before you and have these conversations with you. So it did not destroy me. And that's why I tell you these little saying has a lot of meaning. It did not destroy me. You know, that was something to take me out, because I was so hurt by the whole experience. Well, it's not to destroy me, it's to highlight me and give me some form of knowledge. You know, you're not going to be knowledgeable in all things, but when you seek God and you want to do good in life, victory belongs to Jesus, and He will come and stretch out His hand and pull you out of whatever, because He knows your heart and He can see what's happening clearly. Even if you can't see, He can see. Just have faith and hold on in there and try and pray your way out. Read your Bible and seek help. Anyway, like I was saying, yeah, and it's good sometimes to be knowledgeable, because like I said, if we don't try and be knowledgeable, we're not going to be able to help anyone. But just be aware of what you're taking yourself into. So she shared that, you know, eventually she went back to her Bible and she prayed and she asked God to clearly reveal the answers to her. And that's when God revealed the answer, to say there's only two paths in this life, and it's two options, two paths: God or the devil. So if you're not working for God, you're working for the devil. And like I said, these are the things I understand. So even though I didn't have any great knowledge and depth in all these things and all these new words and all these things that could be happening out there, I knew that what was going on wasn't from God. And another thing as well, it's like when I said they're painting the picture. They're painting the picture to make your family member think they're having supernatural experience, but it's not. It's momentarily stuff, and if you're not careful, you cannot get out of it. Because like I said, I was nervous sometimes in here, kind of having ideas of knowing that he's experimenting in stuff that he might not recover from, and how it's changing him and how it's making him be, and look like there's building up a army or something like that. Because like I tell you, the amount of people that was in my house through the phone, so to speak, different nights, I was here to witness it and hear it. But on that Good Friday, I told you, leading up to the Good Friday, I knew there were going to be a turn. I knew there were going to be a change. I knew something wasn't right. I knew something was in the air, and I knew something was going to have to shift. Because I told you how I was praying. And I know I'm here to come and share, you know. And I couldn't do any more videos prior to the last video I just done, because it's something I had to deal with and something I had to come and share. And sometimes I feel like my sharing is not clear enough, but it's going to be a process, you know, because even though I think I'm so great sometimes at telling story in real life, sometimes when I'm looking back and I'm looking at my videos and stuff, I'm thinking, you know, Rose, how are you not breaking it down in stages? And, you know, but everything is a process, and this is my way. And like I said, there's so much other videos that flag up with people sharing their experience and their stories through my one video, and I didn't have a word for it. But like I said to you, God send help, and what you can do in your family. I'm not only going to be sharing my story. Like I said, your weapon is your Bible and your prayer, and you're seeking, and God can know your heart, and God knows when people are lost. And like I said, He sent help. And once I unlock the door of making the first video and exposing what's happening in my life, because like I said, shame's attached to it and all of the rest of it to hold me in silence. But I was prepared, you know, because when you want to follow God and to do good, you shouldn't allow anything to hold you in bondage or to silence you or to make you feel like, oh, you're not in your right frame of mind, and all of the things that can come up in your head to delay you and to hold you back from sharing your story, and you don't know how many other people you could be helping. Because like I said, Shameless Maya is a huge YouTuber, and for her to even touch on those topics, you can see that it's very valid, and people out there want to share and want to do good, and we shouldn't bury our heads in the sand. Because as I was sharing, I think before as well, reading the book of Deuteronomy, if you're new to the Bible, maybe that's not the best chapter to go to. But if you want to know how people can harden their ears and bury their head in the sand, go in that book. Go in that book, no matter how God is trying to reach out to them and tell them, you know, this is not no way. When I read that, and just to listen and to see that when they're committing all those adulteries and sins and God's calling upon them, there's a path in there that said they didn't even blush. They didn't even blush. They were so far gone. They didn't even blush. And there's so many times that God has to be reaching back out for us, because we are flesh and blood, and we hard ears. We're ears, but some of us is going to get lost by the wayside because of our stubbornness, and because of lack of hearing and lack of seeing. We're going to get lost by the wayside. So I urge you guys out there to want to do good and want to do better, and to want to stop from anything that you're doing that you know that it's not from God. And nobody is perfect, and I'm not sitting before you telling you that I'm perfect, but I had to try and make some sacrifices to show God that I am willing to start listening, and I'm willing to change my life around, and I'm willing to pray for those who cannot pray for themselves, and I'm willing to pray for my family, even if things go wrong and I'm not feeling the best towards them. Even if it takes some time, I show that I am willing to pray, and I'm willing to pray to do better. Because if you don't forgive, how do you expect forgiveness? And the list goes on. And anybody that's trying to keep you in bandage, because there's so much stuff, so much unfairness going on. You see it every day in your daily lives. And you have to learn how to pray for those persons regardless. When they were trying to get to Jesus, all the affliction that he had to come across, and he's not even trying, because it had to be done for the Bible to be fulfilled. But when Jesus was under attack and they're trying to kill him, even though it had to be a process, but they wanted to kill him and say that what he's saying is not right, even though everything he stand for was good. They still destroy him. So when you think of that, and all, you cannot capacitate everything that he had to go through to give us another chance. Chances after chances. And Jesus is our only way, truth, and the life. So I urge you guys out there, keep an eye out for your children. Keep an eye out for yourself, and keep praying. And don't let life destroy you with the negativity that's surrounded us and that's going on, whether we want to see it or we don't want to see it. So this is what I wanted to share with you guys. Clarity has just been flagging up. One video is opened so many doors, and I'm not telling you that every video that comes up on my recommendation I want to be watching, because you can tell when your energy is not at peace with what you're seeing. So some of them I do click off. But Shameless Maya and others, I did watch, and because like I said, she's a YouTuber that I've watched over the years, so I felt safe and trusting what I was watching and what she's sharing. And I also listened to a lot of ceremony. And one particular preacher, Sarah Jakes, D Jakes' daughter, because her life, even though he was a pastor and doing so much good for people and helping people to get out of their bandage and all the rest of it, you guys know his story. His child was going through it, but God had a bigger plan. And when I tell you in closing, when you know, you know. I know there's big plans for my son. It's all I have always known. And even though it hurts me If you even see me laughing, it hurts my core. But my faith is stronger than my hurt. My faith is stronger than my hurt, people. So sometimes it does make me sad, but also sometimes even if I'm sad or I'm tearful, it's not tears of sorrow, it's tears of joy, because I know God have a plan for him, regardless. Because even though I told him he couldn't stay and kick him out, there's always people out there that will take him in. So, and I will always be praying for him and praying for anybody that come in contact with stuff that they should not be in contact with. And it's enemy's ploy to get as much people on his side. So if you're not working for God, you're working for the devil, guys. So that's what I'll come to share with you guys, and I'll start doing other vlogs now. Because I felt like I get to that space where I've unlocked what's holding me bandage. Lots of love, lots of peace, lots of blessings to you guys out there. Let your light shine and do your best. And don't just wait till affliction reach you. And don't be afraid. But that's what the enemy wants. Do your best and try and be in tune with your body. And when it's time to sit still, it's time to sit still. And when it's time to move, it's time to move. And I just pray and hope for everyone out there that want to do good, that they may be guided by God. Take care, guys, until my next video. Lots of love and blessing. Bye, guys.